Welcome back to the Dero Bets channel, and it is 2025 Leagues Cup time starting on Tuesday night. This is one of my favorite competitions of the year as a fan of both MLS and Liga MX, and I think we have got some great spots here. So let's get into the format of this tournament, what makes it special, how it's different this year, my futures picks for Leagues Cup, and then I have 3 picks for the 6 games on Tuesday night to kick off the tournament. So Leagues Cup 2025, this is the third iteration of the tournament, and it is going to be completely different this year than in years past. How the format works this year is they took the top 9 from the Western Conference and Eastern Conference of MLS, with San Diego subbing in for Vancouver, against the 18 teams from Liga MX. Each team will play 3 games in the next 10 days. And then how they are determining the quarterfinals is there is a table of the MLS teams and the Liga MX team. So if an MLS team wins 2 games and a draw, they would get 7 points. Let's see where they finish in the table. Same thing with Liga MX. And then the top 4 teams from each of those tables makes the quarterfinals. So you are guaranteed to only have MLS versus Liga MX matches through the quarterfinals, and we'll see what happens after that. But what that means is every single game in this tournament is huge. If you lose a game in the first in the group stage, you may be done. That means every game is important. That means every team will be focused at least through this first round match day of games. And then remember, if you draw, it goes straight to a PK shootout, and the winner of that PK shootout gets an extra point. So it is going to be a fascinating tournament, I think. There are going to be a lot of aspects of this tournament that books are not able to take into account. The urgency of what teams need to do in games, and just the fact that a draw isn't really going to be good enough in a lot of these games for teams. So let's get into my 4 future sprinkles, and then we will get into 3 plays for tonight. So I will run through these really quick. I have 4 sprinkles for winner of the tournament. The Inter Miami sprinkle is a half unit, and the other ones are going to be a quarter unit. We're just throwing a little bit on here for some fun, but we're starting with Inter Miami. I put a half unit on this. I'm seeing them at 8-1 odds to win. And this is all about adding Rodrigo de Paul. I mean, they added a World Cup winner. This is a guy who's 31. He still starts for the Argentina national team. He would walk into almost any Premier League team, probably not the top 5, but the rest would take him for sure. And to get them at 8-1, I think this is great odds. They've won the tournament before. I think they're going to want to win this one again. So at that number, I love it. And in these futures bets, what you need to look at is who is in their group. Which teams are they playing? There are some teams that I think are better than others that just have a really tough group. And all I'm looking for is to get these 4 teams to the quarterfinals. If we have 4 out of 8 teams in the quarterfinals, I'm feeling good about our chances. So Miami plays Pumas, Necaxa, and Atlas. That is so manageable for them. I would be shocked if they are not at least in the quarterfinals. So at 8-1, I put a half unit on that. The other MLS sprinkle is going to be Minnesota United at 25-1. I put a quarter of a unit on that. Minnesota United, they play Club America, which will be tough, but then San Luis and Querétaro at home. And the thing is, the San Luis and Querétaro games are their first 2 games. That's huge. So if they head into the America game knowing a draw gets them through, America may already be qualified for the knockout round. They may, play other players or something like that, rotate the squad. So at 25-1, if we can get Minnesota United in the quarterfinals, love that. And then on the Liga MX side, we're going with Cruz Azul at 14-1. Remember, this is a Cruz Azul team that just won CONCACAF Champions Cup. They know how to beat MLS teams in knockout rounds. Their group, the Galaxy, the Sounders, and the Rapids. I think they can get through that. I think we'll get Cruz Azul into the quarterfinals. And then Pachuca at a quarter unit at 25-1. This is a Pachuca team we'll talk about in a minute. They are top of the table in Liga MX after 3 games, playing really well right now. Their group, a little bit trickier, LAFC, the Dynamo, and San Diego, but at 25-1 for one of the current hottest teams in Liga MX, I'm going to take that. So Miami, Minnesota United, Cruz Azul, and Pachuca are my 4 futures bets. Now let's get into my 3 plays for Tuesday night. Play number 1, we are going to the very first game at Lower.com Field in Columbus, the marquee, or at least one of the marquee matchups of Tuesday night as Liga MX champions Toluca face off against the Columbus Crew. And we are going with Toluca team total over 1.5, coming in right at even money. Now, I was really surprised to see that we could get a Toluca team total over 1.5 at even money. These were the top scorers in Liga MX last season by 14 more goals than any other team. They were the champions. They have this gear offensively that just no other Liga MX team outside of maybe Club America can hit. The season is only 3 weeks old, but they have three more goals than any other team this season so far. They've scored 3 goals in each one of their games, and they haven't even really been starting Alexis Vega yet, who's arguably their, well, not arguably, he is their best player attacking wise, and they've had two expected goals or higher in all three of those games. They are playing great offensively. And then you look at Columbus, they're scuffling a little bit defensively right now. They've allowed 9 goals in their last 4 games. I don't want to play just the straight over 3 in this one because it was juiced to like minus 130. And I don't see how we get to 4 goals without Toluca hitting 2 goals at even money, which is obviously going to be better odds. So play number one, we are going with the current Liga MX champions, Toluca, over 1.5 team total at even money. Play number two. Now, I'm breaking one of my cardinal sins for MLS games. You don't parlay favorites in MLS. But it is a totally different dynamic in Leagues Cup where every result is huge. And so we are going to parlay NYCFC and LAFC both to win, coming in at plus 140. Now, the reason I love this play, and I will say, I think the NYCFC game against Puebla, I'm a little bit more worried about, but these are games that both of these teams absolutely have to win. Because if you look at what they have next, NYCFC has León and Toluca, two much tougher games. LAFC has Pachuca and Cruz Azul. If they don't win against Mazatlan, they have no chance of getting through to the knockout round. Both of these teams know this, and both of teams are going to push for the result in this one. A draw is probably not going to be good enough. So, as I mentioned, a little bit nervous about NYCFC against Puebla, but what I love is in their game against FC Dallas, they have this new DP signing from Elche in Spain. He's an Argentine attacker, Nico. He looked amazing in the like 30 minutes he was playing against FC Dallas. He had an assist, could have had one or two more. I think they're going to have enough offensively. Same story for LAFC, playing Mazatlan. Mazatlan's in a really tough spot because they played at Pachuca on Saturday night, so this is a pretty quick turnaround for them, playing Tuesday night, whereas LAFC's been at home, so, no travel issues there. And I just don't think Mazatlan has enough offensively. They didn't even manage one shot on goal at Puebla last week, and they only had 2 shots overall. They haven't created even one expected goal in any of their first 3 games. We all know what LAFC can do at home. So play number two is going to be NYCFC and LAFC parlayed together plus 140. And finally, play number three, we are going to the last game of the day, 10 p.m. Central Time kickoff at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. And we are taking Pachuca draw no bet coming in at plus 115. Now, I just don't get this number at all. This is one of the marquee matchups of Monday night. We'll see if we can all stay awake to the end of this one. But this is, Chucky Lozano for San Diego FC going against his old team in Pachuca. But Pachuca is top of the table in Liga MX after 3 games. They're 3-0. They've got 3-0 and 3-2 wins over Monterrey and Pumas, two teams that are very likely to make the Liguilla. And then last weekend, they really destroyed Mazatlan. They only allowed them 2 shots in a 1-0 win. So I love this spot for Pachuca. And this is all about the number because I think this game probably ends in a draw. And goes to the shootout, but San Diego FC is playing a backup goalkeeper. They played really, really well against Nashville on the weekend, but they haven't really been playing that well offensively. They haven't really been creating that many chances. I would be shocked if San Diego finds a way to beat Pachuca in regular time. That would just really surprise me quite a bit. So I think this number should be flipped. I think Pachuca should be favored, draw no bet, rather than San Diego. So at plus 115, our third and final play is going to be Pachuca, draw no bet. So that will wrap us up for Tuesday's Leagues Cup slate. Check back tomorrow as we will have 6 more games on Wednesday night. It is going to be a fun 10 days as we dive into the Leagues Cup group stage. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up and give me the subscribe as well. Let me know in the comments, did I miss anything? Are you going to be tailing these? And we will see you tomorrow.